Hello. Today I want to describe the first step of the AA, of the Alcoholics Anonymous. And the first step is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become a process. For the people who don't know me, so now I am almost sober for 7 years. And in Belgium, I give a lot of lectures about my life experience about alcohol, and I help people to quit drink alcohol. And I want to share my knowledge in English because I know this message can help a lot of people. And I'm gonna discuss the 12 steps, what my experience is about, and I'm gonna talk about my experience about it. So we have to admit we are powerless to alcohol, and for me, this was a really difficult one. Between my 20 and my 25, I really struggled with alcohol. Like, really, sometimes I quit for a couple of weeks, then I started again. Sometimes I stopped for a couple of months, then I started again. And for me, every time I stopped, it was like an achievement to myself. Like, yeah, I am not an alcoholic because I thought an alcoholic was a guy who was drinking every day and I could stop for a week or two or three or four or five. But always after a couple of weeks, I started again, and that makes me also an alcoholic. And all my life has been a fight with alcohol. Started drinking when I was 15. When I was 20, it was really already a problem. And when I was 25, I stopped. But since the day I started to drink alcohol, it has been a struggle. Like, I wanted to, if this would be a glass of wine, it's water. But if it would be wine, it's always like I want to control alcohol. I want to drink one or two or three and then stop. And every time I stopped for a couple of weeks and then started again, I was like, yeah, I will not drink more than 7 beers on an evening. I will not drink more than 10 a day. But every time I give myself the goal, I was getting over it. And yeah, being powerless uh, to alcohol was really difficult to admit because your ego wants to control alcohol, and your ego wants to drink, and admitting for yourself that you don't have control about alcohol and that you cannot drink. It's not about um, let's drink social. No, I had to admit that I cannot drink alcohol. This was really difficult. And when I was 25 years, I had I had done a lot in my life with the drinking. And when I was 25, I was drunk somewhere so badly that I was interviewed by the national television. And the next day, I started to think about my behavior. And And when I was writing down all of my stories uh, that I already like experienced with alcohol, I was really like shocked. I started to write down. I had already arguments with alcohol. I lost money with alcohol. I lost my partners with alcohol. I lost fights. I lost so much with alcohol. And by writing down everything, I was like, really, whoa. I say a lot to people also, like when they are in the process of being sober or quit drinking. I always say, like, make a journal of everything that already happened, and try to try to see the truth. And the truth about my drinking was that I was drunk a lot in my life, and it didn't help me. And admitting that moment that I couldn't control alcohol was really difficult, because my ego was like, no, yeah, I can't control it. I have to have willpower. But yeah, it was, my ego had to die, and just admitting and surrendering to the universe and surrendering to something higher than us, and saying, no, I cannot control alcohol. The reason I wanted to drink, I want to control, is I was afraid. I was afraid so much that I would miss something. I would miss alcohol, or I would miss something. So the the not knowing, and the fear of, yeah, will my life be as great as it is now, as great as it is now? So that was really difficult. And yeah, when I was writing down in my journal everything that already happened with alcohol, I really had to admit that my life was not manageable anymore. I was lying, cheating. I was not a good guy anymore. In the deep inside of me, I think I am a good guy, and I think everybody is good. But when I was drinking a lot, it was like the lying was stronger than myself. Sometimes I made a lie, and they knew I was lying, and I made another lie to like disguise the other lie. And also for me, when I stopped drinking, I was like relieved, like I can stop lie, I can stop, um, yeah, I can stop cheating on myself, I can stop lying to myself. And it made a big difference in my self-respect. Like, quit drinking was like, the drinking was really like, my respect was going down the drain. And then I stopped, and I was feeling better, emotionally, physically, and I was like, I gained respect for myself again. And I lost that in the last years I drank. And yeah, step one, I think it's the most difficult one, because admitting that you have an alcohol problem is not so easy. But it's a first step, and it's also like, in that step, that there's a lot of relief already. Like, you're always again fighting against the wall, like, no, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not an alcoholic. But the day that you are like admitting it and not fighting anymore, it's like, yeah, okay, I am an alcoholic, I have a problem. And against fighting against your hand, you will work together with your hand and say, okay, problem, alcohol, how can we solve it? And for me, this was uh, very, very relieving. Like, yeah, I have a problem. I cannot drink. I will never, I will never be able to drink normal between like marks, because a lot of people think that they drink normal, but I see it differently. So this first step I wanted to talk about. I'm going to also talk about the 11 other steps, and also maybe a little more info. Like, I stopped drinking with reading a lot of books about alcohol. Also, the book of Alan Carr, Quit Drinking Alcohol. And I also went, I think, 15 times to the AA in Belgium. I had good experience with it. because I talked with people who listened to me and who understood me. But then after 1 year and a half of being sober, I started my own organization. And since that day, like I do sessions individually with people, and I help them, and I also do like meetings once a month. Um, so in the beginning, the AA helped me a lot, but now it's already, I think, 4 years ago that I went. And in my opinion, everybody can do what he want to do, because the main thing is that you stay sober. And I go already like 5 years in therapy. Like I talk with somebody, and so it's funny. There's somebody who's like saying a comment. So thank you very much, man. um, I don't know what I was talking about anymore. Yeah, so I went a lot in therapy also, and so everybody can stay sober on his own way. If you have questions for me, you can always let me know. And so this was my first video of the 12 steps in English. I will do the rest of them in a couple of days. Bye bye.